I was recently diagnosed with COVID-19, and I want to share with you my worst experience with having it. Let me start by saying that COVID-19 affects everyone differently. Some people have it much worse than others. I also wanted to say that I waited to make this video until I had recovered and I was cleared by the state. I'm also no longer required to stay at my house. A few days ago, I actually got my letter of release from the Arkansas Department of Health. I just have not left my house yet. If you will, please stick around, give this a listen. Let me tell you my story. Wednesday evening, June the 10th, I actually started feeling just a little rough. And then later that night, I started running a little bit of fever and early into Thursday morning. But then as Thursday rolled around, I started feeling better. I thought I was fine on Friday. I really wasn't dealing with anything. I had no reason to believe that there was any real sickness that I was dealing with. In fact, I had to do some business on Friday, and I went ahead and met with a couple people on Friday. And Saturday, I got up and ate breakfast. But shortly after breakfast, I noticed that I couldn't smell anything. After doing some testing, I realized I also did not have any taste. And trust me, it happened quickly because at breakfast time, I tasted my pancakes. But when I lost my taste and smell, I decided that I needed to go get tested for COVID-19. It was the responsible thing to do. And it was at that time that my wife and I isolated ourselves to our house. My youngest son had actually already stayed at his grandparents' house for a couple days, and most of the time he spends a lot of days there anyways during the day, so we decided since he wasn't showing any symptoms, it was just best for him to go ahead and stay there until I got any test results back. Shortly after getting tested, we found out that there was 2 positive cases in our church and that we had potentially been exposed to it there. At this time, our pastor decided that we were going to cancel all of our services, at least for the remainder of the month. Then I regretfully posted this video to Facebook, this video of me getting my COVID-19 test. And I'll tell you more about why I regret that decision later. For the next few days, I would have the occasional headache, a little slight cough. I had some congestion, and I just felt tired. And I spent 5 days without any taste or smell at all. And that was really depressing. However, that wasn't the worst part about having COVID-19. During my home isolation, I had to miss my oldest son's birthday. We had planned a little party for him, and I didn't get to celebrate that with him. Me and my wife were isolated. My parents even celebrated an anniversary, and we normally take them out to eat for that. Couldn't do it this time, so I missed their anniversary. That was really unfortunate, but it still wasn't the worst part about me having COVID-19. Father's Day was June 21st. I couldn't hug or even see my father or my 2 boys. That was tough, really tough. It was tough on all of us, but it wasn't my worst experience. You ready to get to the worst part? It actually started about a day after my test. I was on Facebook and I saw a post labeling COVID-19 patients as coronies. And I was very saddened to see that people were being labeled this way. Then I received a phone call letting me know that there were rumors going around that I had tested positive and that people were portraying our church in a negative way. And of course, at that time, I had not even received any test results back yet, and I only knew of a very few cases in our church. But things got worse. You remember that video of my test that I posted on Facebook? Well, I started getting messages. I started getting messages from people that do not live anywhere near me. Messages from people that have not contacted me in months. I was getting messages from people that had never even sent me a message or a phone call. And they simply wanted to know my test results. Keep in mind, they didn't ask me if I was feeling better or how I was feeling. They simply wanted to know my test results. And this escalated and kind of became overwhelming. But then something else happened. I got a phone call from one of our city officials because people were talking around town that someone with my last name was not staying home when they were supposed to. Now, the individual in question is related to me, but I had not spoke with this individual or seen this individual in almost 2 weeks at this point. And in fact, I still have not even spoken with this family member. I nor the city official knew that they had been tested, much less tested positive for COVID-19. This was just going on rumors that people were talking about. But because they had the same last name as me, I was getting dragged into the middle of this when really they should have just been contacting that family member of mine. After speaking for a while with this city official, they actually apologized for handling this in the wrong way. I really should not have been the one that was contacted. Then after 6 days, I finally got my test results. And yes, I was positive. At this time, I had pretty much recovered from all of my symptoms, but I did find out that I was positive for COVID-19. I started trying to contact everyone that I knew I had been in contact with anytime those few days before testing to let them know that I had tested positive. And for some reason, one of the people that I contacted assumed that I knowingly invited them into my home having COVID-19. And that really saddened me. I would have never had contact with anyone if I had known that I had been exposed to the virus. And I hope they understand that now. I feel horrible knowing that I could have potentially exposed someone to the COVID-19 virus. And since this whole COVID-19 has started, I have tried my best to use precaution with extra hand washing and using hand sanitizer anytime before and after I've been in public places. I even wore masks into local stores before others were wearing masks. No one else in the store was wearing them besides myself. And because of that, I was getting looks and stares and people looking at me so funny, it made me feel uncomfortable. And I stopped wearing them in our local stores because of that. In fact, our local grocery store stopped providing those sanitation wipes for the carts. It was kind of like our town really wasn't concerned with it until it hit. Now, I do want to say thank you to all of those that have checked on my wife and I, those that have prayed for us, and people that have also picked up stuff and left it on our porch, people that wouldn't even take any money to pay them back for things. We have some good friends, don't get me wrong. I truly thank all of them for that. I would like to recommend that if you know someone who has tested for or someone that has COVID-19, reach out to them and contact them with love and compassion. Find out if there's anything that you can do for them. Find out how they're feeling and pray for them. I know as humans, we're curious and we can tend to be nosy at times. But please don't contact someone just to ask their test results, especially if it's someone that you've not had contact with in a long time. I'm thankful that I have recovered, and I'm thankful that I didn't deal with a lot of sickness with this. And I'm prayerful to all of those that are affected by this in a much worse way than I was. That's it. Thanks for listening. And until next time, God bless.